Hello, hello. Michael Sean Corby here, MSCTV. Got our friends at Living Proof watching today as well. Hello, everyone. And we are about to have Nick Stenson. Yes, I said it. Nick Stenson live. There he is. I'm so excited. So I'm just going to bring him on right away. I'm going to hit accept. Going live with Nick Stenson. And thank you for signing on, everybody. Waving back at you.
Hi,
Hey, how are
how's it
you?
going? Good, how are you?
It's good. You still look tan.
I was dying laughing earlier. Oh my God, when that guy was like back off the spray tan or whatever, I was like, oh, I wish, but it's not. I would tell you which brand it was if it was.
Right. I think you were literally called tanorexic. Like,
Oh my
it's
God,
like, I was like, okay, well, some
so
of
funny.
us are in Florida right now, and it's not me. Where in Florida are you?
Naples,
Naples.
yes.
Okay, so you're having warm
Yeah.
weather. That's
Warm
nice.
weather. There's the perk of this whole quarantine for sure.
Yeah, I need to get out of here. I need to like go to Palm Springs or something and feel sun on my face. But the first thing I'd like to do, Nick, we've started a new tradition. I have to say it started with we did the royal hairdresser Stephanie Stevenson last week, and we did a spot of tea. I'm sure she had a spot of whiskey in hers too. Um, but I brought out my good tequila, the kind you don't share with friends.
That's the
Um,
same one.
Okay, you have the same.
I love it.
There might be a question. And so this is my first rocks tequila. So if we could just
Oh,
have a
really?
toast to a good fireside
Toast.
chat.
Cheers.
Cheers. And
Cheers.
then,
Oh my God, this is the best.
oh, that's smooth.
It's smooth, see?
It is. Oh, see, I was prepared for like a lime and some
All that
salt.
burn?
And
No. No, no, no,
okay,
not with 1942.
okay, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna
Yeah,
make it.
you are.
Yeah. So Nick and I could just go all day, and I feel like I only ever see you like backstage at Naha because you're such a busy man. But
Oh my God.
let's go back because I still consider you a baby because you're younger than me, so everyone's a baby.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
But my first question to you is I want to know, I want a little Nick, when you were young, when did you first know that you wanted to do this? Whatever this is you're doing, because it's pretty amazing. When did you know you wanted to do this for the rest of your life?
Well, I don't know if I ever really knew that I wanted to do this for the rest of my life. I'm still trying to figure that out. No, I'm joking.
Am I still
But
doing this?
I'm still doing this, I think. No, in all seriousness, I grew up in this business. Like tons of my family was hairstylists and nail techs,
Okay.
and my mother was a hairstylist for 37 years, and she had her own salon. So I literally like walked to grammar school with my friends, and then on the way home, walked to her salon, and that's where I did homework, sitting in her salon, and then stocking shelves and sweeping hair and replenishing hair color and shampooing, and that was my life growing up.
Oh my God. See, so I had a similar, my mom bought a salon. She wasn't a hairdresser at all. She was more of a trust fund baby when she was young. But she bought a salon with a friend who used to work at Sassoon. And, it was like, it was the early 70s and it all fell
Yeah.
apart quickly. But I remember being on that floor and like smelling the hair and the hairspray and the chemicals. And yeah, yes, darling, get that good lighting. I see
No, I'm like,
it.
am I as dark as I look?
You look a little dark to me,
A
but
little.
again, what's your
It's not the
bronzer?
tan. Hold on, I'm gonna turn this blind. It is not the tan. Uh,
He's like, damn you, I'm not. No, you have real tan. Okay,
no,
that's better.
yeah, but I still look like bright orange. But
No, you do
whatever.
not
It
look
is what
orange.
it is.
That's my shade because this is a shade of makeup I think is called tawny.
Oh,
Um,
there you go, Tawny. I haven't heard that term in a while.
oh God, we dig out things quickly. So you became big so fast, and I know it may have felt like a different journey or a longer journey, but as you know, we I think back and I was like, gosh, we started kind of as salon owners around the same time, and then it was like, boom, JC Petty creative director, Matrix creative director, Ulta global creative director. I'm like, hello. So other than those three
Been a
massive
busy
things,
few
and
years. No.
yeah, you're like you do nothing. You're super lazy. But I'm just baffled, and I wondered if to those who are viewing, what are if there were three things you could say that help to get someone there. Let's face it, a lot of people want to do that. A lot of
Yeah.
people want that kind of success, and it started in a salon for you. So what are some, it doesn't have to be three things, but what are some things they could do to get there?
You know, I'll be honest, I never really had like a clear roadmap of what exactly I wanted to do. I just knew that I loved everything in beauty. So, you know, it was important for me to be a hairstylist. I was a
Yeah.
nail tech at one time. I was an esthetician at one time. I did body waxing at one time. I mean, makeup for a
No.
long time. Yeah, like,
Wait
so
a
I
minute.
just
You
like,
were a nail tech?
I did a mean pink and white, believe it or not. When they were really popular. I don't even think anybody does them anymore, but at the time, it was really
I
popular.
love that. And waxing.
Waxing, oh my gosh, let me tell you something. That was the best time of my life. Like I literally was booked solid with waxing. And it was amazing. It was the easiest fun money I ever made. Totally. Totally. It was great.
Okay, so you dabbled in all of beauty. You were
I
officially the
did.
guru of all beauty. And then what? What I mean, how do you
So,
get to be creative director of things?
you know, I've always kind of been on the fence of creative and business. One day I really wanted to do everything creative and I didn't care about anything that had to do with business. And then the next day I wanted to know the makings of everything and get involved in all the back end business side of it and how to build and grow. And I think that was something that I realized when I was younger is that I identified that I liked both. I liked being creative and I liked being analytical. And I always wanted to play on both of those levels at all times. And as my career grew, the one piece of advice I give everyone is I never, and sometimes now I get in trouble because I still don't do it, but I never say no. I never say no
Mhm.
to an opportunity. I never say no to doing something that's going to put me in an uncomfortable position because I'm not confident in it. I always put myself in those positions, and those were the moments throughout my career that helped me really grow. The times when I was thrown on a photo shoot for, you know, Vogue magazine or something, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but threw myself out there and assisted, and that's when I started to really learn, you know, and that's when I started to really grow. And then same thing on the business side. You know, I've been with Matrix for, oh my gosh, 19 years now, but
Wow.
you know, throughout the creative process, I still really loved the business side of it. And I'd love to be corporate America side and building. And when the opportunity came up with JCPenney, I'm going to be honest with you, they came to me with the opportunity and I said, no, thank you. Because I didn't think that that's the direction I wanted. And a friend of mine said, you know, he's like, I know this isn't the path you thought you were going to take, but it's the one part of what you've done in beauty that you don't know really well, and that's multi-unit, big box retail. Like that's one part you haven't done. You've done all the creative stuff, you've owned your own businesses, you've done all that, but like really understanding like how to move the needle in a big corporate setting and putting yourself in that environment is going to be a game changer for you. And whether you take it in take it as a chapter in your life and move on is one thing, but if you know, realize it's kind of something that you really like and you could
Yeah.
figure out the balance between creative and business, it's the best of both worlds. And that's really since that point, it's been a, you know, kind of a balancing of both. And I have to say now, as my career has grown, I'm definitely much more business now than I am creative.
Mhm.
But I hold on very tight to the creative side so that I can keep a pulse on everything that's happening too.
He's all president business now, folks. I know that's not true. And we're going to get into some of the creative stuff. And folks, we love your waves. I see his Matrix coming to Ulta. I see a lot of questions here. If you could do me a hot favor, there's a question mark box there, and I promise I'll get in all your questions with Nick if you put them in there. I promise, I promise, I promise, because I have like contacts and a wonky eye and I read them improperly otherwise. So we've covered JCPenney. We know Matrix came up. I know that they have been a North Star for you for a long time.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of beautiful creative work there. I think they have great mentor programs. And one of the things I love is in times like these, people are realizing, hey, it isn't just brands beating up other brands. It isn't I'm better than you. it's really time for us to work together, and
Yeah.
it's not just across channels. It's not big box versus small salon. It's not big brands versus new exclusive brands. It's all of us getting along. So can you tell us a little something about your North Star? What got you into working with brands to begin with?
Well, I'll tell you, when I opened my first salon, my sales rep came in and said, "Hey, Matrix is looking for, educators, and I think you'd be really good at it. You're really great with people, and, I think you should think about it." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't think the timing's right. I don't think it's a good opportunity for me, but, I'll think about it." And then the day that the auditions were, my aunt actually said to me, "I heard you're going for some auditions today." I said, "No, I don't think so." And she says, "Listen, if you go and you don't get it, how worse off will you be than you are right now? Like, it could be a great learning experience. You should do it."
Yeah.
So I did, and I became an entry level educator way back when, and I just built my knowledge and and grew with the company in all the different offerings that they had available to really grow. And I found it super interesting and loved, again, it was that balance of art and science, right? and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I really loved having the ability to do both. And that's kind of been, it's just kind of took off from there. And helping salon owners really drive business into their salons when I was going into independent salons, and getting people to understand the fundamentals of color and how to really grow your book and hair color and all those things like that. That was just always something that was fascinating to me, so it just kind of
Yeah.
took off from there.
I love that. And sorry, I meant to hit question and I flipped my screen. So now you all I have a bright white light in front of me.
That's
So it looks so
hysterical.
bright. Um, I love that. And so I want to get into Ulta a little bit now. We love Ulta at Living Proof. I'm the creative director there. I think the top retail brand in Ulta for hair care, and we're very excited about that. Um, with Ulta, I want to get into, we'll just have one serious mode here because I think it's pretty amazing. Am I reading correctly? The CEO of Ulta, Mary Dillon, not only said, you know what, I'm going to skip a salary for a year, and I'm guessing she's the CEO, that's a decent salary, but she gave $500,000 of her own money to an employee relief fund
Yeah.
for people who are really having a hard time right now and need some money. And anyone that they had to furlough, it's like, hey, you can come back when it's over. And they let them keep their health insurance. I mean, first of all, hail to Mary. And second of all, it must be so amazing to work within a culture like that, right? I mean,
Yeah. Like, I'll tell you, I'll be honest, when we found out that Mary was donating all that money, I have to be honest, I was not one bit surprised. If you
okay.
really know Mary for the human being she is, it's like, oh yeah, yeah, that, of course she would do that, because she's just that amazing of a person. And that trickles down through our culture in a way that I've never seen in my whole entire life. And when all this started to happen, we were talking about, so many different things. And the one thing that I was telling my team is, listen, this is when our culture is going to be the most important, because our culture is what's going to take care of people, what's going to make people at ease through this time, make people feel comfortable, help them along the way, and know that they have a place to come home to after that. And that is Mary Dillon, that is her leadership team, and that is the company. And she eats and breathes in everything, this company, and she's very passionate about it, and she's very passionate about taking care of people first. And she's a firm believer that if you take care of your people, the company will thrive, and it's proven out. I mean, it works, and it's real. It's not something that's calculated. It's so authentic that it's so impressive.
That's absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, and we mentioned culture, but you have something you've all developed. It's like the be yourself culture. Am I saying that right? And I when I heard about this or read about that, I tried to do my homework, but um, I thought about, at Living Proof at Naha a couple years ago, we did it was called No Preconceived
Oh my gosh,
Notions.
I loved that show. That was so amazing, that
Oh,
show. I
thank
love
you.
every bit of that show. Yeah,
Thank you.
that was perfectly done, by the way.
Thank
Congrats.
you.
Yeah.
It really was, it really pulled my heart, right, to do that. And we did it on the road, and I cried every single time. It was like, what's it like to make an audience cry? But really, that was just about loving everybody,
Yeah.
including everybody. It doesn't matter, you know, if there's something somebody says isn't beautiful about you. You are beautiful. We love you, and we have no preconceived notions about you.
Right.
Is the Be Yourself culture or program within Ulta, is that
That's
similar?
very real. It's very real. You know, we want the most inclusive environment for both our associates and our guests. You know, we have every type of person that shops our store. We have every type of person that works in our stores and our salons. And we love that. Like, we celebrate everybody's differences. We celebrate everybody's cultures. We celebrate being like this home for people to come and feel safe. And when you come in, you can discover beauty, and when you leave feeling beautiful. It's not that you come in to make yourself beautiful. You discover things that help you feel beautiful, and then when you leave, we want the product, the people, and the experience to make you leave feeling really beautiful. And that's it. It's not that difficult, but a lot of people complicate it. But we try to keep it really simple and say, hey, treat people really amazing and make them feel great. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
I totally agree. And I'm sorry, I'm really trying to hit the question box and I keep flipping my phone. So I have a couple questions and then I want to go pure creative,
Yes.
pure Naha, because you are certainly one of the gurus of this. What are some of the things that Nick looks for when applying for the Ulta Beauty design team? Hello, Boulder Color Cuts. I hope I'm saying that right. Again, wonky eye. That was my next question. Hello.
Yeah.
We have ruined that.
So we have three different creative teams. We have an education team. So we have 114 full-time educators that go into our stores every single day and teach hands-on education. And then one day a week, they spend with their guests behind the chair so that they can stay really sharp on all their skills. So let's say 30 hours a week, they're doing hands-on training for our stylists. And then one day a week, they're working with guests. So we have that team. Then we have the design team, which Ammon loves to call our heart soldiers, which I love that.
Oh,
We
I
got to
love
coin
that.
it somehow because it's so true. And that's 18 individuals that work in our stores that have been educators, that have done creative work, and they support the pro team as a representation inside our stores. But they also they're like superstars in their own right, right? They're kind of the
Yeah.
next generation of up and coming future stars. And we take them to trade shows, and they actually were nominated for Naha 2 years in a row. I loved it last year. Well, last year when we won, they were up
Yeah.
against us. So it was so cool to see the two teams, which was like the most amazing experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so they get to do things like that and photo shoots and local media and different things like that. So that's kind of the mid tier. And then we have our pro team, which is there's 7 or 8 of us on that team. And that's kind of the industry experts, beauty experts that have done everything from education, platform work, celebrity, creative, you name it, they've done
Yeah.
it. And they represent multiple different brands, because the one thing that I wanted to do with that team is celebrate that Ulta Beauty is a brand of brands, right? For the
Right.
longest time, our
Yeah.
tagline was all things beauty all in one place. And we still have that tagline, but we also have the possibilities are beautiful. So when I was thinking about that, I'm like, we need the top creative team to be all encompassing of multiple different brands. But the
Yeah.
one thing that I made really clear is that when we built that team, I wanted it to be a team that the number one prerequisite was that they had the right heart and intention.
Yeah.
Because we knew that there's tons of talent out there. But if you're really talented and you don't have the right heart and intention, it's never going to work.
Yeah.
Especially coming from different creative backgrounds, different brands. It's hard to bring them all to one. I said, this is either going to be amazing or it's going to like blow up in my face. Thankfully, it turned out to be really amazing. And it's a group of people that truly love each other, support each other, learn from each other, teach the next generation of up and coming stars, teach our educators who then go out and teach our 10,000, service providers. So
Wow.
it's just a really cool kind of tiered approach that we have. So the question around how do you get onto the design team? Well, you need to work in an Ulta salon, number one. And then number two, you have to have some kind of education background and some kind of creative background that you would then apply. We do auditions every single year. It's funny, the first year we auditioned, we had like 72 people audition for it. The second year
Wow.
we had like 150, and last year we had 900.
Oh
It was
gosh,
the most daunting
that's a full-time
experience
job.
ever. Yeah, it really was.
Looking
It
at
was like
those.
five people's full-time jobs because we had to have them submit videos and
Oh my
referrals
God.
and all these things. And then we brought the final like 40 or 50 into a live audition, and then we narrowed it down to about 18.
God.
Yeah,
Now
so we do that every year.
and you do these amazing trainings with your teams as well. I participated, I want to say last year in
Last year.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
when I was up there making my Lindsay Lohan jokes. Sorry, Lindsay, if you're listening. Um, but I really felt a sense of belonging. Like you guys were so welcoming
Yeah.
to everyone, and it really did feel like a big family. So good job on that. And
Thank you.
Annie Doodles, she said she can't wait to be back at Ulta and the Ulta
Uh,
family. So
Very soon. We can't wait. Trust me. We're all itching.
everybody wants to get back.
Totally.
So that takes me into, we've teased with Naha, and I mean, I believe that's where I really started seeing Nick Stenson. Nick Stenson was in these nominations, and as you know, I'm chairman of Naha. I see work. I never know the name
Right.
until I'm handed an envelope, basically. And so to see not only how beautiful the work is, but how you have grown your craft, not only for yourself, but with this team, where you're not kidding. Two teams, under the same leadership, bam, both nominated, a win for your main team. I was blown away. So
Thank you.
I want you to talk about that process of creativity for collections, because they're just like butter. Like the hair is ridiculous, the art direction, the lighting. And I also want to do a little plug. We're starting PBA Naha Live
Oh,
sessions. It kicks
okay.
off tomorrow, and I want to get a commitment from you now. And
Okay.
Em, and if you're watching, I want you both on that show.
No problem.
Because
We're in.
okay, good. Okay,
We're in. I
good.
love it.
It kicks off tomorrow. A little plug for PBA. But can we talk about the creativity? Because you guys literally just lifted the whole level of everything. And as an artist, I'm not sure what you did. What some secret sauce tips? Anything you can give us?
Well, I'll tell you, my personal journey's been crazy with Naha. I laugh. I coined myself like the Susan Lucci of Naha. I've been nominated 10 times and never individually won yet. I've still never taken
You're
my own
getting
home yet.
that next year.
Promises, promises. So we did get the team one, which is honestly, it's better than the individual because it represents so much heart and love and everything that I just live for.
Right.
So that was the best one to win. But I will tell you, I think about the journey. And if Alan is watching this, he's going to be like peeing in his pants laughing because he was at the very first Naha I ever did. And
Yes.
I will tell you, I was so passionate about this collection that I was doing. I'm gonna have to send it to you. It's so old, but I'm
Yes,
gonna send it
please.
to you. And I hand colored every weft that I used and every piece of hair that I used. And I still remember the formula, and I still remember that I used 96 tubes of hair color. That's how much, and I put them in
For one
buckets
shoot.
for one shoot. And I put them in buckets, and I taped garbage bags on the floor of my salon and paintbrushes, and I painted all that hair and hand did all that hair. And I was so excited about that shoot. And I remember that I was so excited because Rod Nova, who did the wardrobe, got me Jean Paul Gaultier's latest runway collection, and we did this whole
Yeah.
marionette theme. And I was so excited about it. Didn't go anywhere. It got printed in like 20 different publications like all over the world. Like it was super interesting, but it never made the finals. And then every year following that, I just continuously felt that Naha was my platform to push through my own creativity, to challenge myself, to try something new and put myself out there. And sometimes it was really pretty, and sometimes it was super edgy, and sometimes you look at it and you're like, oh, I don't know. Like at one time I had, girls hanging out from webs. I tried like everything.
Didn't you do
But
the nudie one too? Wasn't that like
with the guy,
all hair looked better when it was on like a naked man?
Yes.
Was that you?
Yes. Yes. And that made the finals. I did love that collection. That was
It was a
super
good
cool.
shoot.
That was a good shoot. That was a good shoot. And that guy was a sport because I don't think
Yeah.
he knew what he was signing up for until he got there. But super cool shoot. And we did really beautiful like tuxedos and stuff on the girls. It was so much fun. So I always look at Naha as, yes, it's always great to be in the finals and it's the most amazing moment to win. I always say it's like the Oscars of hair. But personally, I feel like every single year it challenges me as an artist to push through your creative wall. And we all hit creative walls. And that's why I encourage every artist, whether you've been in this business a year or 30 years, enter Naha because it will push you as a human being and as a creative person in a way that will push you to a point of wanting to break because you just think you got it and then all of a sudden it falls apart and you don't have it. And then you have to rethink it and everything happens in real time.
Yeah.
And there's so many different components that come into making a Naha shoot really great. Some people get caught up in just the hair and forget about everything else. And I'm like, oh God, the hair's so good, but the rest is gone to shit. Like you have to think about the total composition of this image, right?
Right.
But I've learned that. Like in the beginning, I wasn't so trained in that eye, right? But over the years, you start to really learn that. And that's why anytime somebody brings up Naha, I'm like, oh my gosh, let me tell you all about it and why it's so important that you enter and you do it to really fill your own soul and cup. So I'm very passionate about it. Clearly, you can hear that.
I love it. And by the way, Ammon is saying it's amazing. So hi, Ammon.
Oh,
Thanks for
hey,
joining
Emin.
us.
I was just telling him about the marionettes if you just jumped on and what a shit show that was.
And
It was,
also, you're getting dozens of people saying they miss you and they can't wait to be back with you at Ulta as well. So
I miss them all. I miss them all. Oh
and
my gosh, Margie's saying, what about the time you use paint? Oh yeah, that was another idea. I had to use live paint on models. That is a perfect example, and this is what I want someone to learn from. That was probably the most fun, coolest shoot I ever did in my career. But we worried so hard and so much energy went into getting the paint to work the right way that the hair was like shit. Like I totally didn't like spend enough time on the hair. So in the end, you had this cool composition of the image, and I was like,
yeah.
that's ugly hair. So like you just you
You know
have
what
to
I say to
focus on
that?
every part.
Put it in post, honey. Put that
Oh my
paint in
God.
post. Do the hair, right?
Yeah, I know. No, that's totally me. 96.2 the color, live paint. I mean, that's totally me. I love the paint of it all. Ask
Yeah.
anybody who works with me. They know.
Okay. You're more like Alexander McQueen. It must be real.
Oh,
Nightmare marionettes, Ammon is telling us.
oh my God. So funny.
So we had a question as well of when you were bringing people onto these teams, can you give three things that you're looking for? Like three.
Number one, passion.
Okay.
Number two, experience in your craft. And number three, willingness to learn. Because I
Right.
think, no matter where you are in your craft, you can always learn something new. And I'll tell you, I learned that the most with the pro team because just when I thought I knew something, the pro team member next to me did it better. And then when we all realized it was okay to be vulnerable and
Yeah.
say, you know what, show me that again. You did it better than I did it. Like I need to learn.
Yeah.
And that was a pivotal moment for me in my career when I realized it's okay not to have all the answers. And it's okay to be the sponge and learn, no matter how long you've been doing it. Because let's face it, you and I have been doing this a long time, and the expectations from people is that we have all the answers. But guess what? Some days we don't. And
Yeah.
sometimes the person who just got in the industry with a fresh set of eyes has a better perspective than we do. And you
Absolutely.
have to be okay knowing that and learning from that.
Yeah. That's good. Good wisdom there. So I want to ask you now about the coming trends. And it doesn't just have to be like skirts are at this length and hair
Mm-hmm.
is at this length. I'm thinking more like, for example, a trend that's really impacting living proof is after years of being like folks it's all about creating silicone free healthy hair, MIT science, hair that lasts for days
Mm-hmm.
and days and days without shampooing. Now because of the current climate we're in, days and days without shampooing, sign me up. Hallelujah, amen. I
Yeah.
get it. It's like they're fully into it now. And so that's something that we see as a trend that's working for us now. Are there any trends that you think are going to happen, in general, to either the Ulta community, to the creative process, to the stylist community, or it could just be fun fashion stuff?
Yeah, I will tell you, I've been thinking a lot about this actually. And I think it's less about a trend as it is about a feeling.
Hmm.
And what I mean by that is I think people are going to come out of this and expect more from people, want more from people. They're going to want to support businesses and individuals of all types that go the extra step, that show that they really care, that show that they thought about them. Like one of the pieces of advices I was giving some stylists the other day was like, use this time to think about the guests that you have and create a new roadmap for them. Like when's the last time you gave somebody that's been coming to you for 10 years a makeover? Use this time now to pull
Yeah.
swipes, to come up with formulas, to come up with products that they're going to need to recreate the looks so that when they sit in your chair, you could say, hey, I've been thinking about you and this is what I really want to do. It's a new day. We've just come out of this. It's a way to cleanse. Here's a new look. Like, are you open to this? This is the journey I want to take you down because I was really thinking about this specifically for you. And it makes it very bespoke. It makes it custom. It makes somebody feel special. And I think the salon industry is really nervous. I can tell you, I've been on so many podcasts and talked to so many people. The salon industry is a little panicked as to what does this mean for us as professionals coming out of this. And here's what I'm going to say. I've always felt that our industry was like bulletproof, right? And I still believe that. And I believe that because people still want the connection with people. We may have to do it a little bit more distant. We may have to do it gloved up or masked up, however we're going to come out of this. But people want that connection. And if you think about it, I think about the stories my guests have told me that I bet you they never told their spouse or their children or some of their best friends. But they tell the
Ain't that the truth?
hairdressers, right?
Yeah.
They tell the
Yeah.
hairdressers. I was just watching on HGTV, Brad Pitt did a makeover. I don't know if you've seen this. He just did a makeover to his makeup artist's guest house as a thank you because all
Oh,
she did was invest in people and give to people all these years and never to herself. And he wanted to do something special for her as a makeup artist and just create beauty for her instead of her creating beauty for everybody else. And I was just like blown away because I thought that was genius, number one. But number
yeah.
two, that's truly what we do as beauty professionals is we make people feel good from the inside first and
Yeah.
then on the outside second. So I
Yeah.
think it is much less about a trend as it is how we're going to make people feel coming out of this. I think connections are going to be so much more important now than they ever were. I think people are going to cut off dead weight in their lives. I think people who weren't there for them or people that are not important or that are weighing them down won't be important coming out of this because I think people will reevaluate what important is. And people will do the same thing with businesses, whether that's their favorite restaurant, their favorite salon, anything. I think it's going to be much more magnified the way people feel coming out of this. And then as far as trends, I think, let's face it, hair trends are all over the place, right? We're seeing long and short and blonde and brown and red, and that will continuously evolve. I think the consumer is getting smarter, so ingredients are going to be more and more important as time goes on, and the consumer gets more and more educated on what's good for them because it's about making sure that whatever they're doing on the outside is good for the inside.
Yeah.
Um, but that's kind of my 2 cents on the whole trend thing.
I think, I mean, you almost made me tear up a little because I couldn't agree more. I think it really is about the heart, and beauty starts from the inside. And
Totally.
I think it really brings full circle what we're talking about, inclusion and a be yourself culture at
Yeah.
Ulta. And I feel it, even when I put on my mask and my gloves and I go out
Yeah.
to Whole Foods, everybody's being nicer,
I was gonna say, don't you feel like the world's a little kinder?
way kinder.
Kind of
Like,
nice, huh?
it's real. I'm like, why were we such asses before? Like, I have to be first. I have to have the best parking spot. I have to have that freshest tomato.
Hmm.
It's
Who cares,
who
right? At the end of the day,
cares?
like who cares? Like I think about
Yeah.
that, and I'm like, some of the stuff. And trust me, I have lived my life at like 500 miles an hour. That's just kind of how I run.
Yeah.
But this has caused me to pause and think about like what really matters, you
Yeah.
know? And some of the things that I love the most, like I love to cook. Well, I'm Irish and Italian, but I have the Italian genes where I love to feed people, and that's the way I show love. And
Feed
I'll
me,
tell
please.
you, and I haven't had time to cook in forever. And now I'm cooking like crazy. I'm gonna come out of this 30 pounds heavier, by the way. But I'm like cooking like crazy, and I'm finding that that feeds my soul. Like I love it so much. And the commitment I'm gonna make is like when I am home and not on the road, I'm gonna make sure that I have like an open door policy for my friends and family that I'll cook, come over, like whoever's around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things like that. And I think people are in general thinking about things like that and what matters to them and how we're gonna come out of this differently.
I think we're gonna have to run a contest of like private chef session with Nick.
I'm in. I think that's my first. Food is my first love. I'll call by me. Might be a close second, but you know.
Okay, so we went nails, we went waxing, we
There
went
you go.
hair, we
Oh
went
my God.
editorial superstar, we went running teams, business world. So why not food? I mean,
Why
come
not
on.
food? Totally.
Nick, you are the most amazing guest, but I do not let anyone leave. And please send your hearts. I love seeing the little hearts. Send your hearts for Nick
Yeah.
because he is just doing such a great job today and sharing the love and the passion of our industry. I'm going to play a little game, or you're going to play a
Uh-oh.
little game
Okay.
of this or that.
Okay.
And I've tried to keep them fairly clean. So
Yeah.
the first one I think we already answered. Don Julio or Patron?
Don Julio.
Don Julio. I'm the same. Netflix or the theater?
Like live theater? Like
Yes.
live theater.
Me too.
Yeah.
Phone call or text?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Normally it'd be a text, but in this world, I'm enjoying the phone calls.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Or should I add Zoom or
Yeah, every other visual way that we connect, totally.
It's true. Cookies or pie since you're a foodie?
Pie.
Pie. What kind of pie?
Anything lemon.
Okay. Ooh,
Ooh,
okay. Beaches or mountains?
beaches.
Thus being in Florida.
Right?
Heels or sneakers? And I don't think it doesn't mean you have to wear them, but
No. Heels no matter what.
yes. But I feel so bad. It shows they're like, can we wear sneakers? The guys are wearing sneakers, and I always have a look and go, no. It's
I
just,
know.
sorry.
I think there's nothing more beautiful than a woman in a stiletto. I just think it is
It's
so,
just,
it's just a sign of power to me. When I see a woman in like a beautiful outfit in stilettos, I'm like, wow, you go, like you're sharp,
I
you
do see
know?
it. And putting on a pair at Halloween, I was Judy Garland. You can see on my Instagram somewhere. That was painful. And so I make you wear those heels with the utmost compassion for the
Oh,
pain
total
that is
respect for
involved.
anybody who wears them. I
It's
tell you,
insane.
total
um, are you more into a bicycle or roller skates or blades?
bicycle, bicycle.
Bicycle. I thought you might go full on disco,
It's been a minute since I've been on roller skates.
Hamburger or taco?
Both,
Both.
probably at the same time.
Passenger or driver?
Driver,
Oh, passenger.
really? Oh
Uber
yeah.
saved my life.
No, well, yeah, yeah. No, I'm a driver, but I do love. I'm much more productive if I could sit in the back and have somebody else drive, and like I could
Right.
be on email and be on the phone. I'm more productive, but I do love to drive.
Just like Anna Winter. I understand.
Totally, totally.
To go a little bit south where you are right now, Joe Exotic or Carol Baskin from Tiger King?
Neither.
Neither. He's like, that's a hard no.
No, no.
Hashtag killed your husband. Dine in or delivery?
Dine in.
Dine in. Left side or right side?
Left.
Could be. There's so many things, right?
I'm
It's
like,
like
yeah, I gotta think about that.
of the bed, of politics. Mullet or mohawk?
Mohawk,
Mohawk. Toenail clippers or pedicure?
pedicure all the way.
Right?
Yeah, no.
Boxers or briefs?
Both. It
Oh,
depends.
boxer briefs, perhaps.
There you go.
Hot tubs or hot springs?
Hot springs.
Riches or experiences?
Ooh, I talk about that with my other half all the time. I think experiences are much better than riches, but you need a little bit of the riches to have the experience.
I
I'm
love that
being,
answer.
I'm being
So
real.
the answer is yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and I always end with a torn between two divas or inspirations. So, Lady Gaga or Madonna?
Gaga.
Gaga.
I'll tell you, I got to work with her for the halftime show
Oh
for the Super
God,
Bowl, and that was an
no
incredible
way.
experience. And you want to talk
Ah,
about somebody who is passionate, hardworking, dedicated, and like true leader to her team? That's that
yeah.
woman. Yeah,
Oh my God, that's so. I didn't even know that. We
yeah.
did have one last question too, and she was asking, "What is it like to work with a celebrity? Like any tips on you're booked for a celebrity? Couple do's and don'ts, maybe."
Yeah, I will tell you, you're not in charge. What you really want to do with that celebrity's hair, you will not do. It doesn't matter even what the celebrity wants. It's about what the agent, manager, and team want.
Mm,
Um, and you got to be super nimble and flexible and just go with the flow.
yeah. I what my advice is always it's not about you
No,
because
it's
it's
not.
really
And it's
not.
not glamorous at all.
And wear a lot of anti-sweat products because some reason celebrities just make you sweat.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well, Nick, you are like the most amazing guest. Thank you so much. And I
Thank
will
you.
take both you and Ammon up on doing PBA Naha live calls because
We
you've
would
both
love it.
done so many amazing things. And I really want to dig deeper. You know, I want to have a good 30, 40 minutes just on Naha. I'd like to get specific, so we will get you on the schedule soon. So if you're
Love that.
watching, look for that coming soon. We kick off Naha PBA live tomorrow. We're just going to hit on the new categories, which is a salon culture based category. So it could be a salon that's,
Interesting.
yeah, maybe, who knows? Maybe it's Ulta Salon. I don't know. He's
I'm
like,
like,
another award.
I'm like, I may know a salon.
As well as Educator of the Year, which I think is an
I
award
love
that's
that.
been missing for a long time. And look, we're not just, you know, there are people who are magical and have billions of views on YouTube, like a Sam Villa. And then there are people who are out there doing the grind and
Yeah.
working their buns off and making an impact. And so we're going to look at all of that when we choose those
Um,
nominees.
that's
So
wonderful.
I want to thank you so much, Nick. Do you have any parting words? You have so many people watching. They're so
Uh,
excited to see you.
no, thank you. Thank you for having me on today. It's so great to catch up with you. And we're gonna have to like get together for dinner or drink or something because
Yes,
to your
please.
point, we see each other behind scenes and stages all across the country. So we'll have
It's
to change that up a little bit. But just for anybody who's watching, like this is just a moment in time, and it's all about how we come together and rally together and make sure that we take care of ourselves and each other. And that's what's going to make us come back even stronger as an industry, stronger as a unit, and stronger as a individual who is giving that transfer of knowledge and that transfer of beauty to everyone that sits in their chair. So just remember that, and that's it. Take care of yourselves and each other.
beautiful words, beautiful man. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank
See
you
you
to
later.
everyone for watching. We'll repost Nick if you missed it and you want your friends to see because he gave some incredible information today. Enjoy the
Thank
rest of
you.
your evening and your
You
Don
too.
Julio.
You too. Take
Talk to you
care.
later.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.